Good evening, challengers and mentors. Welcome to the StackLeague Mentorship Mondays. I am Chlo and I'll be your host for tonight's event. This evening, our goal would be for you, challengers, to unlock bronze level with the help of our gold challenger mentors. And this is your chance to ask for advice from the featured mentors while you're solving the challenges. And if you have any questions for our mentors about the challenges, type them in the comment section so the mentors can give their feedback or recommendations. For the mechanics, so the sessions provide a virtual and safe venue for new or beginner tactic challengers to learn and improve their coding skills with gold level challenges. Mentorship Mondays are for unranked participants who want to level up to bronze, while Mentorship Tuesdays are for bronze challengers who want to level up to silver. How it works? Only registered participants are allowed to join the 1 hour mentorship session. And session starts at 6 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m. So in the first 10 minutes, the featured mentors will be introduced and the mechanics of the mentorship will be discussed. And for the next 40 minutes will be allotted for mentors to answer advanced and live questions from mentees. The last 10 minutes will be for final tips and session wrap up. For the pre-mentorship requirement, mentees must attempt to solve at least one challenge to experience firsthand the difficulty and coding environment. Mentees can send their questions ahead of time via bit.ly/StackLeague Mentorship questions, and the questions will be answered during the mentorship proper. So mentees will join the session via an unlisted YouTube link which they will receive via email. So when mentees have questions, they are to post their questions in the comment section of the YouTube live stream. And if a mentee question is chosen in the live session, it will be flashed on screen as mentors answer the question. Take note, mentees are not allowed to disclose the challenge question. Do not copy-paste questions or take a screenshot and upload it to ask mentors. Any form of disclosing the StackLeague challenges online is ground for disqualification. For the level completion, mentees have until Friday 11:59 a.m. of the same week to successfully level up and be part of the mentorship graduates. If a mentee has successfully leveled up, the mentee is to submit his or her StackLeague ID number form and upload the screenshot of their level up notification or email in the form via bit.ly/StackLeague mentee completion. Mentees who successfully completed the challenge will automatically receive their certificate of completion. Moreover, names and photos of successful mentees will be included in the mentorship session graduates of the week announcement to be announced on StackLeague's social media channels. And this is how it would look like on the platform. So let us now introduce our featured mentors for tonight's session. First, we have Jeremiah Daniel Regalario, our gold challenger who ranked in the individuals weekly top 10, week 3, week 4, week 5, and week 6. Second, we have Jerome Antido, our gold challenger who ranked in the individuals weekly top 10, week 2, and week 6. Third, we have Stephen Jansen Balo, our gold challenger who ranked in the individuals weekly top 10, week 2. Lastly, we have Daniel Mir, our gold challenger who is the grand champion of StackLeague 2021 and who is also the facilitator for the Q&A session.
Hello everyone, I'm Daniel, currently StackLeague's top programmer for 2022 and today's Q&A facilitator for the league. I hope everyone is excited to solve algorithmic challenges here at StackLeague with goals to instill interest, motivation, and test their skills in programming. We are here as mentors to help you reach new heights and guide you in your path to becoming one of the best programmers here in the country. So let's start the Q&A session. Every competitor of the league has an origin story. Some were recommended by their professors because of the talent their student has shown. Some were just curious. Some were targeted by algorithms and thought to giving it a try. Whatever the reason was, one thing is certain. Stack League's proving grounds is for everyone, regardless of age, gender, and race. Tell me, Jeremiah, how did you learn about Stack League?
Good afternoon, everyone, to my fellow mentors and uh, to our mentees here, which are watching us live. I encountered Stack League when I was browsing on my Facebook account, and I have some friends which are sharing stuffs about Stack League, and I got intrigued by the Stack League, and so I searched on the internet of what type of organization is this and what are they after, and I really got excited and got myself into it, and I suddenly rose as one of the top programmers also of the league as of now. That's all.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jerome?
For me, it was first introduced by my professor. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was the intercollegiate programming competition here at the Stack League. That's why I entered the platform. And after that, I was intrigued also on this Stack League 2022. I was intrigued in their cash prizes, which is 10 million. And ayun, nagtuloy-tuloy yung challenge ko dito sa stock nito.
How about you, Stephen?
Hello, good evening po. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay po.
Yes, I
How
can
did I
hear you.
learn about League? I was just simply I was just simply scrolling the my Facebook account, and then don't remember exactly who shared the post. It was a advertised post, so that's how I was able to learn Stock League through Facebook. Like,
So, for me, just like Stephen, I learned about Stack League through a Facebook post. Yeah, so I'm just the same as him. Stack League's proving grounds is not for the faint of heart. I believe every competitor is not a stranger to failure. However, the best ones have something in common. They have hope, hope in the form of a whisper in one's ear that says, I will try again. This hope is usually fueled by motivation. That is usually the reason why we started in the first place. Jerome, what was your motivation in joining the league?
Honestly, right before I entered StackLeague, because as I said earlier, I was just challenged by my professor. There was no motivation, uh,
Mhm.
but just the challenge to parang i-represent yung university namin. But then after that, uh, I nalaman ko na may cash prizes yung StackLeague. That's why yun yung naging motivation ko na magpatuloy pa sa platform.
How about you, Jeremiah?
My main motivation in joining the Stack League is um, I have to enhance my skills in computer science and programming as well, because I'm planning to take a tech related course in college, which is either computer science, BS computer engineering, or BS IT. But I felt that I'm lacking with a lot of skills, especially in this field of programming. So I thought that I could really enhance my skills with the platform that is being given by the Stack League.
How about you, Stephen?
Question. We ordered two meals here. We're wondering if you have any dinner with us. So I think everyone is familiar with the food delivery apps that we use all the time, like Uber Eats, Skip Dishes, and
As of the moment, I'm having a hard time hearing you po.
Pardon? Come again.
I'm having a hard time hearing po your mic.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you po.
Um, what was my motivation in joining Stack League?
Mhm.
First, same with the other participants. We I was also motivated by the cash prize. Yeah. Hello. Okay po. How about yung is my mic okay? Nala po to apologies na for my apologies na for the technical issue with my microphone. Perhaps I will try na lang to ano po to volumize my voice. Then po I was a bit distracted a while. If I'm not mistaken, it was about ano, motivation in joining StackLeague po. No?
Looks like we're having technical issues, so I'll just answer the question myself. So, my motivation for joining Stack League is that I wanted to learn more about programming outside of my school's curriculum. So, yeah, Stack League is really a good place to practice your skills, especially in algorithms and data structures. Every programmer makes mistakes. This is a fact no one should hide. Even the best stumble from time to time. What were the first mistakes you made when you were just starting out in the league? Let's start with Stephen. Oh, sorry. Let's start with Jerome na lang.
Developers
Um,
or sa and other IT professionals who are much more in love with
Jerome, are you there?
yes, yes. I'm sorry. So, uh, yung first mistake that I made when I was still starting out in the league was I was not able to construct a good algorithm for the problem. It is because hindi ko masyadong naiintindihan yung problem. That's why yung ang ginawa ko is I tried to read and comprehend the problem 5 to 10 times. And ayun, na solve ko yung problem. And yung mistake is na-overcome ko um, yung challenge through reading comprehension.
Hmm? How about you, Stephen?
hello.
Stephen, we're still having technical issues with your mic. How about you go next after Jeremiah? Jeremiah, are you there?
Hello, Danielle.
Yes. What were the first mistakes you made when you were still starting out in the league?
When I was still starting on the league, probably one of the most notable mistakes that I have made was the fact that I wasn't really comprehending the whole problem. Like the moment that I read the context of the problem and I already came up with a solution in my mind, I already submitted I immediately submitted my coded solution without actually checking for other possible test cases, and I didn't really catch for possible invalid values. So I wasn't able to hit a lot of check marks with my with my solution, and it really gave me a hard time and figuring out what happened. So from that, I learned that I should really read the whole problem first before proceeding with the submission.
Okay. So for me, my first mistake was. Ay, are you there, Stephen? You want to go next?
Hello, hello po. Is my
Okay, I can hear you. That's good.
mic cleared up po?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. So
Sorry
Stephen,
if I'm
what
having
was okay?
technical issues, probably with the internet. No?
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, regarding what were first mistakes that I've made, no?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I didn't really struggle much when I was starting with Stack League, but there were mistakes po na even up to this day na like for example I always keep forgetting the to import standard libraries packages, and because there are in most cases now I'm using some latest
Mm-hmm.
lang po.
Okay. So for my mistake, when I started to join Stack League, I was really a beginner. I did not know what to click, what button to click, how to submit an answer, and I was not also good at functional programming. So yeah, I had to make a lot of mistakes, search a lot of code online, and practice to get where I am today. So bronze, silver, and gold are Stack League's official divisions. The first step of the journey is usually the hardest. How did you conquer your first bronze challenge here at Stack League? Let's start with Jeremiah.
Daniel, can you please repeat the question? I didn't hear.
Okay, okay. How did you conquer your first bronze challenge here at Stack League? Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for the question. I conquered my first bronze challenge in the league. I can say that it's not really an easy task for me. I will describe it as actually my. I find the silver challenge and gold challenge a lot more. Uh, I think I did better on answering my silver and gold challenge than what I did on my bronze challenge. I think I wasn't able to achieve 100% on my first try. Um, I think I really got a low score from that. But later on, I searched online and I studied also through YouTube courses on how I'll be able um, to solve problems, to uh, like find solutions with easy tasks using functional programming, and from that, I am able to devise solutions with the next problem that I'm going um, to solve in this stack league. And from that, I was able to get 100% by hitting all the marks and considering all the important notes written on the problem, so that able I will not be able to commit mistakes later on. And with that, following that, I was able to proceed to my silver challenge, which really gave me a step up in my career as competitive programmer.
Jerome Mantido. Can you go next?
All right. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, I conquered my first bronze challenge um, just last February, and it was hard compared sa silver and gold because you need to target 100% sa test cases, and it really cost me to research and recall all the basics of programming, especially um, sa algorithms and data structures. So I also read uh, and yung nag-rely din ako sa uh, Stack Overflow, sa Geeks for Geeks, and also sa YouTube. And yun, na-conquer ko naman yung bronze challenge. My very first bronze challenge was that hindi siya isang take lang, kundi maraming fails din. So,
Mm-hmm.
advice ko sa mga mentees, pag hindi tayo, we should uh, not be overwhelmed sa questions, and you need to try and try again until you uh, pass the challenge.
I want everyone to take note of what he said. Stack Overflow and Geeks for Geeks. If you ever have questions about programming, they're go-to places. How about you, Stephen? How did you conquer your first bronze challenge here at StackLeague? Hmm. So for the mentees out there who are watching right now, who are starting out on their first bronze challenge, are there any problems you are encountering right now? If you do, you can comment in our YouTube comment section. Meron ba? Okay, so we will wait for that. So when I conquered my first bronze challenge, I finished it from last year. My first bronze challenge took me a week to solve since I was really new to programming. Fun fact, it was also my first year to have a laptop and a access to good programming materials, studying materials. And those websites are Code Forces, Code Wars, Stack League, Stack Overflow, and what's that? AlgoExpert.io. So yeah, we will move on to the next question since Stephen is irresponsive right now. So let's see. Data structures are one of the hardest, most sophisticated topic in computer science. These are used to store and organize data in an efficient manner. Jeremiah, what is your favorite data structure to use to conquer challenges in the league?
Um, for my favorite data structure, I think it would be queue, just like what I've said before. Because in a queue data structure, you are capable of adding adding variables, adding objects on either ends of a either ends of the structure, because the opening and the ending of the queue data structure is actually um, reusable. So unlike with stack or other, unlike with stack, it with the queue, you're capable of adding both at both ends. So I think it would really be helpful in solving problems, especially with the problems which are being given in StackLeague as of now.
I have a follow up question for you since we're talking about queues. Can you tell me a specific problem in Stack League that made you that you conquered using queues?
I can't remember the name of the problem, but I think it has something to do with dancing, there where you have there are input words like up, down, left, right, and then you're going to output a, a list actually of a I really forgot, but you really have to output a list of some characters or strings, and then but during the solution, you really find yourself applying a queue type of data structure where you'll add and then first part start of your list and then the end of the list and like that. But it is actually integrated in a object-oriented way in that problem. So it's really a challenge
Hmm.
for my.
Okay. So, how about you, Jerome? What's your favorite algorithm? What's your favorite data structure to use to conquer challenges in the league?
For me, my favorite DS is array, and particularly since I'm using Python, it is named list because yung list is very simple, it is versatile and efficient and easy to implement. It is almost widely used on every computer programs and provide a very easy way to manipulate, and also it can also collect similar elements like um, kahit iba-iba yung data mo or yung kaiba-iba yung data or structures na contains doon sa list. So yun po yung favorite ko.
Okay. How about you, Stephen?
Hello po. No? As for my
Yes.
favorite data structure po, I usually use but these are the common data structures that I use. First is the list in Python. Then third is the set. So first list, what I like about this is it's dynamic uh, version of an array. Kasi in an array, if you're using Java language or even in C language, so array has a fixed size po. So if you're going to store more than the capacity of your data structure, you're gonna need more dynamic data structure, and one of that is list. So it kind of works like an array. You can access the the elements in an index, no? But as you add more and more elements, it gets larger also. Then as for the map, it's like a if you're familiar with PHP, it's also called the associative array because you can access your data in a key store. So if you're familiar in JSON, there are keys, no? In the array index po tawag yan, sa map or dictionary, we call that keys. So invest na number yung or index yung pag retrieve mo ng certain elements, it's ano po, it could perhaps it's your map could be a string in a string. Let's say for example, um, or string or number. Let's say names of your keys are the names of the NBA teams right now, and as for their values, corresponding values, their rankings, respective rankings in the playoffs. Parang ganun po. So perhaps if you could want to access your elements using keys instead of uh, index. So that's another maps. You could perhaps use maps dictionary. Then for the sets, what I like about sets is uh, it's like a list, but ano lang po ang yung naka-advantage niya is if you're going to insert an element that's already duplicate na po, so automatically your set will disregard the duplicate entry, and what will you have left is just an elements of that are you have unique elements, and that can be very useful if you just want to have a um, if you want to filter, a certain list of elements, and you just want to get the unique ones. So there are problems that requires you to have that, no? And definitely you can use that sets. Ayun po.
Okay, so our lists and sets. So for me, I don't really use the word list since I use C sharp. So my favorite data structure is arrays. Arrays are very important to learn because I like to believe that they are the foundation of every container and data structure out there. I suggest that every beginner gets their hands dirty in working with arrays before going through more advanced data structures and later implement algorithms of some sort. And yeah, you can also explore, when you learn arrays, you can also explore more complicated stuff like queues, like and Jeremiah said, and stacks, heaps, and maybe maps. That's that. Algorithms are usually partnered with data structures. There are usually there are usually college classes for these called data structures and algorithms, which usually focuses on implementing algorithms with the help of data structures. Jerome, what's your favorite algorithm to use to conquer challenges here in the league?
Um, for me, when we try to program, we need to isaalang-alang yung time complexity. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
if you observe na sometimes pag nagte-test tayo ah, ng test cases dito sa StackLeague, minsan sinasabi na test timeout. So, yung efficiency and time complexity is very crucial. And yung ginagawa ko or favorite na ginagawa ko na algorithm is the divide and conquer algorithm, which is an algorithm to recursively breaks down a problem into two or more sub-problems for the same or related type until this becomes simple enough to be solved directly. So yung divide and conquer is a technique, uh, is the basis of efficient algorithm for many problems such as sorting, multiplying large numbers, and also sometimes finding closest pair of points, syntactic analytics, and many more. So maybe sa mga mentees natin, kailangan natin matutunan yung divide and conquer for some reasons na kailangan natin na isaalang-alang yung efficiency and time complexity ng program
Mm-hmm.
natin.
Okay. How about you, Stephen?
For me po, my favorite algorithms that I typically use and encounter po in the Stack League coding challenges, the sorting algorithms po. Simply because you can mostly programming languages meron silang standard library for that for sorting, no. So you can just call it na lang. Like for example, in the Java, we have here the Java util that arrays. So yun, that's what I observed. No? There are many coding problems that requires you to sort first the your arrays, and that's why ano, it's also one of my favorites. And sometimes if you need to query your list of elements, let's say an array, no, also it's also my favorite than the binary search algorithm. No? It is usually paired with a sorting algorithm, no, because it's effective when the binary search algorithm is effective when your array is already sorted, no? It quickly, no, it yung basta ano po siya, mabilis po siya in comes to searching a certain element
Mm-hmm.
that's already sorted. And perhaps you could try and use that on your own.
Okay. How about you, Jeremiah? Are you there, Jeremiah?
Yes, my favorite algorithm
Okay.
in solving the static problems would be the dynamic programming, or it simply means that the dynamic algorithm rather. So it is an algorithm wherein whatever uh, whatever time, for example, you've coded this specific algorithm right now. When you will go back to it next day or next month, you're still able to um, properly read it and implement it in other ways. And for that specific type of dynamic programming, my favorite is the looping algorithm, wherein you will use the looping capabilities of the language of your own choice. So for my choice of language, which is Python. Looping is really powerful, although it is usually quite memory hungry compared to other languages. But I can really say that looping in Python is really powerful, since you really have a lot of um, methods and functions that are available in the libraries, such as enumerate, range, and count, which will really help you in parsing, for example, a string or a list. No? It will really help you in want to scan one by one characters, for example, or one by one objects in that specific list, that you're going to parse. And with that, yeah, my favorite is looping algorithms.
So, looping algorithms, sorting algorithms, tapos dynamic programming. A lot to take in. For me, algorithms don't have to be complicated. The online definition says that an algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculation or problem solving operations for a computer. Algorithms can simply be a process to add two integers together or a process to concatenate two strings together. There's no fixed process to solve all problems. That's StackLeague's underlying challenge. Because of this, I do not have a favorite algorithm. Sorry nawala. But I want to make this clear for everyone. There are a lot of ways to solve a challenge here at StackLeague. It may be slower or faster than other processes, but you can go back to optimizing it later. However, I do have a recommended algorithm every beginner must to do great. Honestly, ako nahihirapan ako sa yung mga prime numbers na challenges. So, the algorithm I'll be recommending is kind of old and I don't see it that much in code forces. Hopefully I can see some people use it in Stack League someday. It's called the sieve of Eratosthenes. The sieve of Eratosthenes is an ancient algorithm for finding prime numbers to up to a given limit. So it's a really efficient way to find prime numbers to a siguro mga yung overflow na limit natin sa int or long, ganon. It's a technique to, it's not always a technique I use when dealing with prime numbers. So check it out. Sieve of Eratosthenes. People are meant to conquer challenges in their lifetimes in order to become better versions of themselves. As a recent challenger, have you encountered where you almost gave up but ended up solving the challenge at hand? Let's start with Jeremiah.
Um, I actually experienced this during my first goal challenge. It really took me a lot of time before I conquered my first goal challenge. I remember trying to solve my first goal challenge, but ended up doing other stuff. So I wasn't able to really beat since there is a time limit. And after a few days, I also decided to open it again and try answering. But still, um, I really didn't make it since I really have a lot of things to do and prioritize that time. But then I almost gave up with that, and I thought that I will not be able to solve that high level questions. But then the next day, after trying to figure out things, and also I also tried my best to find the ideal questions by spamming uh, the buttons for trying again. I was able to find the set of questions which are really favorable to mine, which are mostly math questions, and it really gave me the opportunity to achieve the gold award that was being given by the staff league.
Okay. How about you, Jerome? Stephen na lang. Sige. Stephen muna.
Um, Most of the challenges po na ano ko are almost incomprehensible, meaning di ko magets kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng isang problem. It's just too vague. And yun nga, at first na it seems to masyadong mahirap or too difficult for me. Yun nga, because I don't know how a certain input it leads to its corresponding output. So yun nga, there are problems that are too vague. There's not much details on how a certain input leads to a certain output. But a couple of readings, like not just one time, two times, like 10 times or more, and yeah, I was able to to solve those uh, most of those challenges that I have skipped. Because usually the the only way for me to be able to conquer certain challenges, let's say bronze, silver, and gold, is to skip those difficult challenges that are incomprehensible. I cannot understand what it means. No? Yeah, but yeah, it was just a matter of a lot of reading and yeah, it's also important to have a reading comprehension because if you cannot understand the problem, cannot create a or cannot create a concrete step-by-step solution to that problem. So yun po.
Okay. How about you, Jerome? Jerome, are you there? Looks like Jerome is having technical issues, so I'll just answer the question. A recent challenge I encountered that I almost gave up on is what's that Stack League challenge? Was that? What's that? Ayan. It was a silver challenge called ayan, Dance Dance Revolution Coffee Edition. So the the challenge entails a system for a video game called Dance Dance Revolution. So it's more about OOP. I had a hard time since I was not really into object oriented. I was more into functions in general. So what I did was I just researched online at what I said earlier, Stack Overflow and sa Code Forces. And Code Forces, Code Wars. Magkaka-pair yung pangalan. So yeah, I just researched online and tried stuff until I came up with a solution that was around 70%. So that was good enough for me. And yeah, I garnered points for that. So for our last question, what are your tips to our unranked participants who want to level up to bronze this year? Ay, this week. Sana wag naman. Let's start with Jeremiah.
To our dear mentees who are uh, doing their best in solving their first bronze challenge, my advice to you would be pick a particular language that you're really used to and you are capable of utilizing for your problems that you'll encounter in the Stack League, since having a definite language that you're comfortable with will really help you in growing also as a programmer. And if you're already comfortable with that, that's the time that you're um, ready to learn another language as well. So don't try to explore many languages at once because you may get confused, since they have their own syntaxes and they have their own libraries. And then another tip would be it would be best if you will have your own IDE, or the integrated development environment, where you can save your codes. You can also study it after some time, and it will also help you to uh, uh, build your portfolio of solve competitive programming questions. That's all.
How about you, Stephen?
For me po, my personal tips on how to level up, no, in the bronze no, this week. No. So first of all, you learn the fundamentals in the language that you've picked. So whether it's Python, Java, or PHP, and as well as the standard libraries, so that you don't have to create functions from scratch. Let's say, for example, sorting algorithms. They're already sorted on majority of the languages in StackLeague. You have supported the uh, array sorting algorithms in its standard libraries. Then you get to familiarize also with the different data structures. So mentioned those in my answer kanina, no? We have lists, we have maps, sets, even trees and graphs. You study how each of them work, what are their operations, how do they insert or delete their or remove their elements that array. Once you are familiar with those each of these structures, it will just once you encounter a certain problem, it will you will be able to automatically identify ano yung the best data structure for that problem. Okay, and you if you have ideas, let's say for example yung ano like Daniel na mentioned kanina about prime numbers. If there's you have a certain challenge that requires you to find the prime numbers that certain limit, no. So you just type na lang, simply Google it, how to find prime numbers, and then magugulat ka na lang. There are some search results, most likely it's in Stack Overflow, and there are a lot of developers, programmers that will suggest this is how you do this. Is that they have this sieves of ano yan? Sieves of something.
Sieve of
Eh,
Eratosthenes.
Aristotle. Okay, my apologies. And then you could check also not only the algorithm, there's suggestions, but also you check then the if they provide the time complexity of that algorithm. And yeah, it's also important then to study time complexities then, kasi there are challenges that will require you to provide an if not a effective solution, but also efficient solution. Kasi may ibang algorithms, as input gets large, the its running time also increases then po. So yun, and of course it's as also mentioned by Jerome, to have your own IDE. And for me, it's convenient on my end. Because if ever I failed to that bronze challenge, I'm sure at least one or two of the challenges I was able to solve. At least I was able to store it in my own computer, or my own IDE. And in case that I will be able to encounter that challenge again, perhaps this time around you can uh, you will be receiving two challenges that you are familiar. One is or perhaps one is already familiar, the other is easy, and I guess you could be able to conquer finally the bronze challenge. Just try and until you succeed. Yun lang po.
Very insightful. How about you, Jerome?
Yes, try until you succeed. So yung ako naman, tips ko for the unranked challenger sa bronze is do not be overwhelmed much sa question. So, yun yung mistake ko dati na ah, sa conquer ng challenge is not hindi ko siya naintindihan dahil na-overwhelm masyado ako. So, lagi naming sinasabi, you need to read 5 times until 10 times yung problem until you really comprehend what the problem is trying to get from you or ano yung gusto niyang ipasolve sa inyo. So, second tip is you need to get or have your own repository by having an IDE. So, yung ginagamit ko personally is yung VS Code since nasisave niya yung code ko dito sa local computer ko since yung StackLeague once na um, kunwari na-refresh mo yung page, hindi na siya mababalik kung ano yung na-code mo. So, it is best for you, mentees, na i-save natin yung code natin on a specific repository or on your local computer. And lastly, yung pinaka advice ko is that huwag tayong matakot na mag-Google or huwag tayong matakot na mag-ask ng help sa fellow mentors, sa mentors natin. You can connect with us sa StackTrek and yung pag-Google is not a bad thing. Actually, it is a good thing for a new or beginner programmer that to learn and continue learning while tayo ay nagso-solve ng problem. Thank you and good luck po.
Okay. So, my final message is that we are we are here as mentors for a reason. Let us help you in your journey towards being better programmers by asking us your questions at StackTrek, and we will answer it with the best of our ability. So, that's a wrap. I want to introduce Chloe Aureliano, uh, StackLeague's host for today.
Thank you, Daniel. And that's all for our mentorship session this evening. And congratulations to those who unlock the bronze level. You will be receiving the 100 peso cash prize. And thank you very much to all our featured mentors, Jeremiah, Jerome, Stephen, and Daniel, for taking this time to help and inspire your fellow programmers. Bronze challengers, you can take this challenge further. Join the StackLeague Mentorship Tuesdays tomorrow at 6 p.m. and unlock the silver level. And on behalf of the StackLeague team, I would like to say thank you to everybody for joining the StackLeague Mentorship Mondays. And congratulations to the challengers again, and thank you to our featured mentors. We look forward to seeing you next week tomorrow at the StackLeague Mentorship Tuesdays. This has been your host, Klo, and good night, everyone.